Hello, Cretans, and welcome to a special non-Disney park. We're going to follow a couple of trends that's going on here. I have my co-host in life with me, Alicia.
Hello.
And since we go to Epcot quite frequently, I decided we should take part on something that's going on, that's really popular trending right now, and that's ranking these things into particular tiers. Now, I saw my buddy Sean did one for Magic Kingdom. He claimed it was the greatest and best of all time, and that's fine, because some of those I agree with, some of them I don't. I'll put a link to his video in the description for this one. But since we go to Epcot all the time, what have we averaged already? 6 visits this year? 5 at least?
7.
7? Yeah, I can't even keep track. We definitely have our passes paid for at this point. So we're going to go through all the Epcot major attractions. Some of the minor ones, like, say, the acrobats at China and some of the other street performers they have. Those aren't the major attractions. Basically anything where you're on something that moves or you're being entertained in some way. So right off the bat, we're just going to go in order of the pictures we have down here. The first one we have is the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival. This is what used to be Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and Captain EO. Now it's like a rotating presentation of all the short films they show before Disney feature films.
Before the Pixar films.
Well, both Pixar and Disney animated ones, because there's a couple of like Mickey Mouse ones. And the movies inside constantly rotate, so there's not really anything set depending when you go. It could change on a daily basis. It could change on a monthly. I'm not quite sure. Where would you rank this, with S being the top and F being at the bottom?
Right in the middle.
Right in the dead center at C? Yeah. I can't argue with that. It's a really good way to get out of the heat. And even if you've seen all the shorts that they already have in the presentation. All right, so moving on, we have Frozen After Ever. Very popular ride. This is an E-ticket attraction, which is kind of funny because S is at the very top, but we have E way down here. Frozen Ever After. Where would you put this? This is a very difficult ride to get a fast pass for. Very popular.
Always a long line most of the times that we're there.
Unless you're there at Rope Drop, then you're about 20-minute wait.
If not longer.
If not longer.
I would put it at an E or a D because of Maelstrom was better. And it's in the same location as Maelstrom would be an S. This...
Really? You think Maelstrom was an S? It was goofy, I'll give you that, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, Maelstrom was higher up. Frozen, well, I would rather do Frozen versus Pixar movies, but it's hard to say.
I'll tell you what, I am going to put this at an E. Not because... Oh boy, I'm really torn on this. I want to put it at a D, but then I think of some of the negative, and... Alright, I'll leave it at a D. And the reason I'll leave it at a D is because of the technical advances of some of the audio animatronics are very, very well done. The reason I want to leave it at a D is this particular scene right here, where Elsa's there singing and your boat's going backwards. That room should be freezing at that point, and it's not. That's why I want to make it an E, but the technical marvels put it back at the D. So that's... You agree with that, D?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, next we have the Grand Fiesta Tour in the Mexico Pavilion. This is the Three Caballeros. Rumors it might go away for... What's that?
Coco.
Coco. I don't know if they'll do that. They might. You never know.
Well, they have the Mariachi Coco going on right now.
That is a really cool thing to witness, but that is one of the street performer situations that sometimes it's time, sometimes it isn't. You know, weather could always stop it. Weather's never going to stop this boat ride. Where would you put this?
An A or a B. There's not usually a long line to get on it. And it's true. A decent ride.
Yeah, it's all indoors. It's a great escape from the heat. A lot of these are great escapes from the heat, but this one, yeah, I'm going to say an A on this one, just because I love it. The art is spectacular. It's very similar to It's a Small World, but it's still...
much better than Smart
It's
World.
better. So much better. The music's better. The sights are better. And there's a lot of little Easter eggs if you know what to look for. So yeah, I'm going to make this an A. Next, this one is something that you are moving on, but it's less of an attraction, but you're moving. It's the Garden Grill Cafe.
We've eaten there once, and we
did the
breakfast.
The breakfast buffet, yeah.
And it was awesome.
It's a character meet and greet.
Character meet and greet.
Excuse me, a character dining. That's what they call it.
Oh, character dining?
Yeah.
I would either do an S or an A for, especially with restaurant dining. Probably an A for restaurant dining, because it still had really good food.
Yeah,
as well as the characters.
The food, as ordinary as it was still very good, especially the cinnamon roll. Oh man, you know what? The cinnamon rolls just punched it up into the S because they were really good.
Compared to what I've heard of other character dining throughout Walt Disney World.
Yeah, for this one in particular, it's usually Mickey, Chip, Dale, and one other that it's interchangeable, but those are the three you're probably going to see here. Your view is going to constantly change, so you don't get tired of looking at the same thing all the time. The restaurant slowly rotates while it's inside the land pavilion. It is one of the better eats out there. It's also one of the more expensive because it is a all-you-can-eat situation. But yeah, Garden Grill is an S. It's one of our favorite places. After that, you know what? I'm going to start over here, and we're going to grab the Voices of Liberty. This particular picture, they do two different kinds of shows. One year-round and one seasonal around the holidays, the Christmas holidays, where they sing Christmas carols, and it is some of the most beautiful singing you will ever hear. Where would you put this on the list?
I would say C. Just because it isn't a great location in the building for the music, for the audio part of it.
Oh yeah, it's acoustically sound.
At the same time, there's pretty much sitting on the floor or standing. There are
seats. Some benches.
There's a couple of benches, but they get taken real quick.
But it's a great pre-show for the American Adventure attraction, which is also on this list. Year-round, great singing. Christmas time, even better singing. I think... And this is just a pre-show. That's the other amazing thing. It's just a pre-show attraction. So, I think C is a pretty good place to leave that. Moving on, let's do another, not a pre-show, but a sideshow experience. Turtle Talk with Crush.
Oh, Turtle Talk with Crush.
This is adorable, this attraction.
Especially with the cameras they use. It's close to Monsters' Laugh Floor.
I think it's better than Monsters' Laugh Floor.
But it is better than Monsters' Laugh Floor. I would give that an A. Just because of the comedy and the questions that they asked the kids.
Yeah, if you've never been before, it's kind of like a digital animated puppet where there's someone operating and doing the voice commands, but it's so fluid, and I think we've only seen it screw up once, while I've seen Monsters' Laugh Floor screw up like a number of times on a technical level, where the voices just keep going, but the mouths are frozen solid. But this one is funny, it's cute, it's fun, it's great for everybody in the family. It's not a ride, it's a sit down and watch attraction. But yeah, I'm going to have to say, yeah, it's an A for us. Now, the main attraction for that particular pavilion is Nemo and Friends, The Living Seas, or whatever they call it now.
Under the Sea?
No, that's Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah, that is Little Mermaid.
This is the little people eater tram ride that shows you all the aquarium. When it was just The Living Seas, the ride was a lot longer. They shortened it in half when they added in Finding Nemo and all those characters, but it's still pretty good. You can get up and walk around and look at all the aquarium instead of just letting this thing take you around. It's like, oh, I want to see more of that. Nope. Keep moving.
Yeah, you keep moving, and then you can get out of it and go look around the aquarium after.
Yeah, and it's an impressive aquarium. They got a lot of stuff in there.
I find the aquarium more interesting than the ride, though.
Yeah, so do I. But where would you put the ride itself in its current day form?
In its current day form, probably maybe there with Frozen or down below Frozen. Frozen actually might be a little more interesting to be on than Nemo. Nemo gets a little boring.
That's true. Emo. Nemo it's not as long as you'd think it would be. It's very short, and it just leads you it's basically the entrance to the pavilion itself, where you can go in and let your kids run around the playground, do turtle talk with Crush, and look at manatees, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but this is just the way to get into the pavilion. So, yeah, I'm going to agree and say we're going to leave that at E. Now, over here we have the American Adventure at the American Pavilion. This is a great show. If you like Hall of Presidents, first off, what's wrong with you? Second, this is much, much better.
And even though the animatronics, a lot of them are older than the animatronics in President.
That's true. This is probably one of the oldest attractions in all of Disney when it comes to animatronics. I think some of them in here are even older than Pirates of the Caribbean, because that has received a number of updates.
And this has not.
No, it's the same Ben Franklin and Mark Twain walking around going through American history, all our ups and downs. It is the perfect educational entertainment ride. It's a great show. It is worth sitting and watching once.
So for a B or a C to go along with the singers for the pre-show?
It's above the pre-show, so yeah, I'll make it a B. That's where I'm going to place that guy. After that, we have Test Track. This is a major E-ticket attraction right here. Where would you put it? I think I know where you would put it.
Test Track, I think, is an S where you just have it.
Yeah, let's not forget ourselves. Test Track is the best attraction at Epcot.
And we try to ride it every time we're there, whether or not we can get the fast passes, because the standby line can be quite long.
Yeah, it can, but it has something that a lot of Disney rides don't have, and they should have, and that's a single rider line, which can really save a lot of time.
Yeah, because it's a 3-person car, so you have to have that one last person to fill in the space. Well, 6-person car, but 3 people per row.
Oh, 3 people per row, yeah. Up next, we have Spaceship Earth. This is an attraction that has been there, obviously, since day one. Gone through a couple of refurbishments. About ready to go through another one. It's going to take... I've seen some people say it'll take 2 years when they get started. I'm very high on this one.
Yeah. This is another one that we try to do.
If there's no line, yeah, walk on. Let's do it. It's a quick... It's actually longer than you assume, because it's a good ride. It's a good attraction. I have no problem with it.
And what they added to it for the animation where you get to pick what area you're going to choose for the video at the end as you're going back down.
Oh, the little screen thing.
The screen thing. And they have kept that updated.
I think that's going away. I'm not sure, but I think that is going away, and they're going to add more scenes as you're going up and then as you're coming back down. That's all speculation. Nothing is solid as yet. Speaking of solid, we have Soarin'. There's an A, a B, and a C. If you get the B, you're somewhere up here. If you get the A or the C, you're somewhere down here, because you're going to get a different show depending on where you sit in this attraction.
Right. If you're on the edges, the screen shape.
Yeah, because it's the screen is curved like a dome. So there are parts of you fly right next to the Eiffel Tower, and it has a bend for some reason.
If you're on that side
If you're
area.
on the side, which is almost every time you ride, because there's only so many people can sit in the middle. Some people don't like the new scene. Some people have no problem with it. I'm thinking a D.
Also because of the wait times.
Well, actually, they've taken care of a lot of that, because...
They added the third.
They added a third screen, because it was just 2 for a long time, and that you would wait 2 hours easily, because it's one of their big e-ticket attractions. But the curvature of the screen, I think that really hurts, and it's so hard to sit. You can request to sit in the middle, I've heard. You can't... I've never done it before. So up next we have Oh Canada. which is the 360 movie that they have in, obviously, the Canadian Pavilion. It'd be weird if they had that in, like, England.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. Never done this. We waited in line for it once. After a day of walking around all of Epcot, we were tired and we were exhausted. We walk inside. Yeah, you'll have to stand for this entire movie. Ugh.
Yeah.
As much as I like Martin Short and I want to see this, I don't want to stand when I'm been walking around your park all day.
And I have done it previously, and yeah, it's good, but it's not worth the standing.
Boy, we sound really lazy. But that's why you need to have good shoes when you go to Epcot or any Disney park. Here we have Mission Space. Now, I know you're not too keen on this one because you suffer heavily from motion sickness.
Yeah, I get the motion sickness, and I have some issues with 3D.
Well, this isn't a 3D attraction, but they do have the screen really, really close to your face. The centrifuge can really throw you off if you're not ready for it. They do have what I call the wuss version. You don't have that sense of being weightless like the extreme version.
Except for the fact I think I did the wuss version and still felt sick.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm going to rank this as a B because there really is nothing else like that. All right, another boat ride. How about that? How many boat rides are at Epcot? I've never counted that before. We have Living with the Land, which is their greenhouse boat ride.
Well, this makes 3.
Okay.
I would actually give that an S. That is something that...
Wow, really?
Yeah. I really am into gardening and plants and seeing everything. They do change it seasonally. They show plants that they use for the Food and Wine Festival. They show plants that they actually do use during the Plant Festival for the Flower and Garden Festival. So they do change them out.
I'm going to give it an A. If you are gung-ho about plants and everything, this is absolutely the ride for you. You need to do this. A lot of people would probably find it very boring, but...
Getting in out of the heat.
Well, that's always a bonus.
It's a good ride to get out of.
Plus, it's a good, nice 10, 15-minute ride, so, and it's smooth. There's nothing wrong with that. It's relaxing. It's kind of like the boat version of the People Mover, I guess.
Yeah. Good.
But with plants. All right, up here, we have another attraction that's still there. Impressions de France, which is basically like a 40-year-old movie that they show at the French Pavilion. As some people don't like it. Your dad, who's from Quebec.
Closest to Quebec. Franco-American.
Close enough to be Quebec. He absolutely freaking loves this. He every time he comes to visit, we need to go do this. We need to see the movie. Okay, we'll go. It's good. It's old. It's very, very old, but it's a movie you can sit and watch. So where would you rank this?
Either the B or the C.
I'm going to give it a C just because of its age.
The age. The music that they use with it.
The music is beautiful. It's very copyright friendly, but it's great.
And the classical music.
Now, if they ever update this movie, which would be awesome, I really wish they would, then this would probably go much higher. But since this looks like it was filmed in 1972...
82 when Epcot opened.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think
79.
79. Yeah, we'll split the difference, sure. All right, these next two, I'm leery. All right, first off, we have Journey into Imagination. Day 1 ride, boom, easily. Day or year, what is Epcot? It's almost
It's 27.
That's
it
right.
Opened in 82.
Well, Journey into Imagination was not a day 1 attraction, I remember. No. They actually had trouble opening it. It didn't make day 1. It was a little like a year later.
So 25 years.
I'm going to give this former E-ticket an E, and that's not a good thing.
We have the previous of getting stuck on the ride for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's so depressing to see how this great ride went from a 30-minute journey into how your imagination could be sparked to this god-awful thing that completely removed the Dreamfinder, completely removed Figment. People had to complain to the point where, okay, we'll put Figment back in it, and it's still not that much better. I love Figment. I love One Little Spark, that song.
Right. And Eric Idle.
Eric Idle's good.
Does a good job. I love Figment. And if you see in other videos, most of my shirts have Figment on them.
How many Figment shirts do you have? A
3.
lot. Just 3?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to have to count that later. I don't think that's right. I think it was a lot more. But speaking of a lot more, or one thing left, we got ImageWorks, the post-show thing for Journey into Imagination. Which is okay if you're under 7.
Our kids even get bored with it now.
Yeah, they've done everything once, and after that, okay, Dad, I'm ready to move on and never do that ever again. I got to give that an F.
Yeah, that's an F. They've cut down on what's available in there. They used to have a lot more interaction. There's not as much interaction.
This is our list. We are the Epcot experts, so it would be hard to argue against us, I would have to say. This is our look at the tier system for all the major Epcot attractions. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you know what? Give us a comment of what you agree with the most and what you disagree with the most. That would probably be the most constructive thing you can do.
What's your favorite?
What is your favorite?
And least favorite thing to do at Epcot?
And, well, actually, since we're not at the parks, we can't say this is the greatest vacation ever, but we can say go ahead and like and subscribe so you can join and become a member of the guild.